state budget on education. This year we're spending 59% of the state budget on education. We're defunding the very apparatus that we keep talking about having to improve on in order to become employable and our people being able to get jobs. But one of the first things I want to do is the Commonwealth incentive. Without raising taxes one penny, I want to give every high school graduate in the state of Kentucky a $5,000 voucher for books, tuition, and fees to any institution of further learning within the state of Kentucky, as long as it trains them into employability. You know, we need to start talking about further education for everybody, not just higher education for a few. Because if we don't train our C&D students into employability, they're going to be a drag on us all. So what we need to do is give these kids in these poor rural counties hope. Some vision beyond the high school diploma, other than that they don't have to go to school anymore once they get that. $5,000 voucher for books, tuition, and fees, not pizza, rent, and beer, no creature comfort. It has to be spent in the state of Kentucky into something that will train you into employability, whether it be cosmetology school, woodworking school, welding, UK, UL, we don't care. If it's accredited to train you into employability, we will give you that voucher. And the beautiful part about this is not only will it give hope to some of these kids in these poor counties who don't have any vision beyond high school, but it will invite in worker training schools and business colleges and schools into the state, because they got a target-rich environment for students. And not one penny gets spent until that student steps up and presents themselves at the door to be trained into employability. That's a really surgically precise way to spend the educational dollar. It's not like spending it on a $100 million building in hopes that you can get somebody to come in and teach them something. The first dollar doesn't get spent until that person presents themselves, hey, I want to learn to be a welder. Here's my debit card, give me the books, tuition, and fees, and then they teach me into employability. So we think that will sponsor education, it'll sponsor employment, and it'll sponsor new job opportunities for the state. The next thing we want to do, I would like to give tax incentives to existing state corporations to enact state-of-the-art environmental compliance in the state. You know, we ought to give these folks a carrot to induce a green society in here. You know, there's one thing to have fines and everything if they mess up. It's another thing to give them some tax incentives to implement state-of-the-art environmental compliance. That will introduce jobs into the state. That will make us a green economy. That ought to increase our quality of life, where we can go and try to get jobs attracted to the state because of our quality of life. Now listen, you young folks who are looking forward to a lifetime of employment, let me tell you what you're facing. In 1993, Gene Strong, head of the Council for Economic Development, the fellow who gives out tax incentives to locate jobs in the state, in 1993 said this publicly: I have a plan for every Kentuckian. By the year 2012, 80% of Kentuckians are going to be earning $8 an hour. And you know, that's been your official job growth policy in the state. That's where your tax dollars have gone to supply jobs to this state. Let me ask you something. How do you